Okay, so like many of you yesterday, I watched the Super Bowl, Super Bowl 49, and while I don't specifically watch Super Bowls with the intent of watching the commercials, I did happen to watch some of the commercials, and I thought some of them were pretty interesting. So let's talk about the winners and losers here. So first, I'm going to talk about what I believe to be one of the biggest losers, and I know some of you are going to disagree with me on this, but I feel that Anheuser-Busch Budweiser was one of the biggest losers. Their up for whatever campaign doesn't really seem to work in my mind. So a guy goes into a bar, he orders a Bud Light, suddenly they're pulling him down into a hole, it turns into some sort of a club, and then they tell him, okay, you are a Pac-Man, and suddenly he's inside a live Pac-Man game. Now I have nothing against Pac-Man, fun game that a lot of people played during the 80s and 90s, but the ads just don't make any sense, and I think overall the campaign just doesn't really work. I think last year they had something with Arnold Schwarzenegger, which was just once again a very, very silly ad. And then they had another one with some Tampa Bay Bucks fans, where all of a sudden everything's dressed like a pirate, and just once again ridiculous. So I think Budweiser, Anheuser-Busch, the big loser there. Now I know some of you are going to disagree with me on this next one, the puppy ad. I think what they call the Lost Dog, which I heard actually scored very well, but I'm guessing that it scored very well with women, but probably not as well with the men. So of course, as soon as they show the little lost puppy, all the women go, "Oh, cute little puppy." But of course, the problem with that is now the beer is sort of associated with something that's sort of feminine, this tiny little white puppy. Okay, very cute, so women are going to go buy the beer, but men probably won't be as quick to buy the Budweiser. So overall, big loser, Budweiser. Okay, so who are the winners? Fiat, I think overall was probably the biggest winner. Their ad shows a woman, she's lying on the bed, and she's in the mood, and she tries to entice her husband. He goes into the bathroom evidently to get a blue pill, some sort of Viagra. The pill flies out the window and does all kinds of things, and then ends up, they show you a picture of a Fiat car. The pill goes into the gas tank of the car, and suddenly the car gets pumped up, and I guess it's now an SUV. So really, really clever ad, very, very well done. I took some advertising classes years ago, and one of the things the teacher said is, if after the ad you can't remember who the product was, that is probably not a good ad. But in the case of Fiat, you definitely remember the ad was for a car company, and I think most people will remember that it was for Fiat. So once again, very, very good ad. Okay, now these next two were for Esurance. So Bryan Cranston was in one, and Bryan Cranston is a absolutely wonderful actor. He was in Breaking Bad, which is one of the best shows ever. If you've never seen it, go out and get it. One of the all-time great shows. The only problem with the ad is, I wonder, do a lot of people remember actually what the product was for? So if people don't remember the product, they can't actually go out and buy it. Next Esurance ad was with Lindsay Lohan. Once again, very, very clever. As many of you know, Lindsay Lohan has been in and out of rehab for her drinking problem and various problems. And they show Lindsay Lohan, she pulls up in a car. I believe she hits a bus with the car, and then sees two boys and says to one of the child, "Get in." And he says, "I'm not your mom." And she says, "Well, I'm sort of like your mom." And then, of course, she takes off. And the whole thing playing on Lindsay Lohan's problems with drinking. So once again, a very funny ad, but I'm just not sure that a lot of people remember that it was actually for Esurance. Okay, another very good ad was the avocados from Mexico. So they show the first draft ever, and they have various countries drafting different products, and Mexico drafts the avocado, and everybody says that was a very good pick. So once again, very clever ad. And another one was the Doritos ad. Guy's sitting on a plane, and I guess he's kind of concerned about who's going to sit next to him. He sees a beautiful blonde, so he pulls out a bag of Doritos. She smiles, and then of course the person in front of her steps away, and you see that she has a baby attached to her stomach. So the implication, of course, being that she's not single and available. But once again, a very clever ad. So overall, big winner, I would say, was Fiat from Super Bowl, and big loser, Anheuser-Busch with their Budweiser ads. Okay, thanks for watching. Oh, Weasel? Are you there? Oh. Oops. Sorry about that, Weasel.